Welcome to Middle East Minute by Al Monitor. From our studio in New York, I'm Adam Lucente. Here are the headlines we're looking at across the region. Today is Wednesday, August 19th, 2026. Iranian Parliament Speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf visited Iraq on Wednesday in a bid to shore up ties ahead of the militia disarmament deadline. The visit by Ghalibaf, who is also one of Iran's chief negotiators, was, quote, aimed at strengthening a new regional order without foreign interference and accelerating cooperation among regional countries, state media reported. Iraqi Prime Minister Ali Azadi has set a September 30th deadline for militias to disarm and integrate into the state security forces, though many of Iran's proxies in the country have yet to agree to this. U.S. troops are set to leave Iraq on the same day, and the Trump administration has been pressuring Baghdad to crack down on Iran-backed militias. The local news outlet Shafaq reported on Sunday that the State of Law coalition of former Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki proposed setting a new date for the disarmament. And the head of the IRGC Quds Force, Ismail Khani, also visited Baghdad last week. The United Arab Emirates said late Tuesday it is halting all trade with Iran following a new missile attack near the Gulf state. UAE authorities said earlier that Iran had targeted maritime navigation near its territory, with missiles landing in both Emirati and international waters. Last week, the UAE accused Iran of targeting vessels belonging to the Abu Dhabi National Oil Company, ADNOC, in the Strait of Hormuz. The UAE was targeted by Iran more than any other Gulf state during the initial phase of the war, and has emerged as perhaps the most critical country of Tehran. Trade ties between the two are nonetheless significant. The UAE provided Iran with more than 30% of its imports in 2024, valued at $21 billion, and received nearly 13% of its exports, amounting to $7 billion, according to the World Trade Organization. A NATO official told media outlets on Wednesday that its, quote, deterrence and defense posture is strong and effective, following a Financial Times report that said Iran may target U.S. troops stationed in Europe if U.S. President Donald Trump escalates in the war. There are currently no talks scheduled between the U.S. and Iran. Turkey rejected what it called, quote, untenable allegations from Israel on Wednesday after Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office said Turkish troops were deploying to a Syrian base. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan's office said the assertion, quote, intended to legitimize Israel's unlawful airstrikes targeting Syria's sovereignty and territorial integrity, adding that Ankara will continue to cooperate with Damascus. Netanyahu's office said late Tuesday that Syria was close to, quote, breaching the status quo between the two countries after permitting Turkish troops to deploy to a base in the north. Earlier that day, Syria accused Israel of bombing the Abu ad-Duhr airbase near Aleppo, damaging a runway. The Turkish statement did not explicitly address the deployment accusation. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, a UK-based war monitor, reported on Tuesday that non-Syrian troops had been present at the base recently and that a Turkish delegation visited within the last few days. Israel is concerned about growing defense ties between Turkey and post-Assad Syria, as well as the presence of former jihadists in the new Syrian army. Israel-Turkey ties have deteriorated over the war in Gaza. U.S. Special Envoy Tom Barrack told Reuters on Wednesday that the Trump administration is working on a deconfliction mechanism between Turkey, Israel, and Syria, and Damascus condemned the recent Israeli strike in a letter to the United Nations on Wednesday. In other Syria news, International Atomic Energy head Rafael Grossi said on Tuesday that, quote, tons of nuclear material dating back to the Assad regime had been found in Syria. Syrian Foreign Minister Assad Ashebani said the material does not pose a risk and will remain in Syrian custody. Thanks for listening to Middle East Minute. For the links to these stories and to keep up with headlines from across the region, visit almonitor.com and subscribe to Middle East Minute on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Until next time, I'm Adam Lucente.